Alright, first time with something like this is always an experiment, but that's why you gotta do trial and error to try to make it right. So let's get it going. I'm gonna start with the meat here, the imitation, and see. This is the flake style, so I'm gonna try to cut this up a little bit, not too much. It calls for 8 ounces. This is a 14-ounce package, so I'm not going to use all the package. This is what the pieces look like, so they need to be... I don't know if this is flake style. This is... Well, look at that. It breaks pretty easily. So I guess that's what it means. You can kind of... It's easy to break up with your hand. See how it flakes? So that's what I'll do. So that's about 8 ounces right there. And instead of flaking it with my hands, I decided to use a knife to make it more of a chunk style. I didn't want to make the chunks too big, but I didn't want to make them too small. I think that's just, like I said, trial and error, just to see how that goes. I think there's a chunk style of this you can get, and maybe that's the one I should try, but we'll see how this one goes. I think that's the kind they use, like that I've seen at the old salad bars. This calls for a whole cup of panko breadcrumbs. Of course, I'm too cheap to get that, so I used these snagged for free. And I think it says like a cup is a little too much, so I just went with 3/4 a cup. I usually go half a cup on like bean cakes and salmon patties. So see how that goes, and then gonna do an egg too. Just beat it up enough to break it up. Now on the thing it said some people want 2 eggs in this. I'm not going to do that because I've tried this with the canned crab meat, and let me tell you, it's edible. You can make it alright, but it's not very good. And I tried it with 2 eggs on that, and it just tastes way too much. There's too much egg taste in that, so I'm gonna sink or swim with 1 Greg. Okay, and then kind of rely on some mayonnaise for the other holding agent. All right, so we'll do a couple tablespoons of the Duke. The rest of this is just going to be eyeballing as far as the amounts, like. So I'll just put all of these ingredients in, and just about maybe half a teaspoon of each. So go ahead and do that, all 5 of these. So it looks like, and notice I did not add any salt. Here's why. 390 sodium, which equates to about roughly 800, since I used about half the pack. This has a lot of sodium in it, but and it calls for this, so I'm going to use some of it anyway for flavor. Alright, now for the mixing part, and this is going to be the part where I can kind of try to gauge the how much mixing agents are needed to be added. So I'll go ahead and try that. So this is what we got, and it's holding pretty well. I did add a little more breadcrumbs, crackers. The mayonnaise is definitely plenty. I'm not going to add another egg, and I was hoping to get 4 nice big patties out of this, but it's going to be close. Definitely we'll get 3. That's fine. I'm not going to go back and add more crab. I've got enough left in the pack if I want to make like 2 more patties, so that's fairly easy to make. I think that I should have chopped up the crab meat a little finer, but that's fine. I'm going to stick with it and just go with it as it is. Now, if you're wondering about vegetables, because with patties. People, and I put onions and, you know, chop up onions, jalapenos, and green peppers in these videos for patties, like salmon cakes, bean cakes, other cheapo cakes. The only thing I've ever seen put into that I've read as far as recipes, putting vegetables, putting into crab cakes, are green onions, which I don't have. And green onions are not really, they're almost like spices, because you you slice them up really fine. It's almost like that parsley that I just put in, so not really a big deal there. The other thing was the other ingredient, not a vegetable, was dry mustard, so mustard powder. If I had that, I would definitely throw it in, but it's not a necessary thing. All right, so I'm gonna refrigerate that. You can see how it's just holding. It's not all like, so that's a good sign. It's kind of, you know, sticking to the side like that. So I think it's got a pretty good, you can see as I tilt the bowl, it doesn't even fall. So I think that gives me some confidence. So I will wrap this over the top with some saran wrap, and then the only other thing I can think of that I would add would be like paprika as it's cooking, but I'll do that in the next video. That'll be later. I'm making this video earlier just to have it prepped and feel pretty good about it. Let me know what you think, and let me know what would go with it. I may not even do vegetables with this. Obviously, collards would go pretty well, but asparagus would be a good option. I might do hash browns instead of rice. I mean, rice is like the best option. Like some white rice, but maybe green beans on the side. But there it is. All right, there it is. I will show you the cooking video of this later. Thanks for watching.